Hi everyone, and welcome to the Pisces March 2022 mid-month engagement reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. Or better said, it is meant to help you find where you fit. So, Pisces, this reading is meant to kind of be a reminder mid-month to keep yourself engaged, your unique, internal, special, singular, authentic self with your engagement with your life experience. So these are just a few extra messages from Spirit to kind of help keep you on track with yourself. We are going to be first pulling a card here to take a look at kind of an overarching theme. Now this reading is meant to be kind of a quick one. This is not the full month illumination reading. Those have already been released and you can see those if you visit my YouTube channel. But this is meant more for just kind of something extra to ponder throughout the month that Spirit would like you to be aware of to help keep you on track with bringing out the best parts of yourself and fearlessly engaging them with your life experience. That's really what engagement means. That you're not just going through life, you are kind of going through life mindlessly, you are going through life engaged. And why is this important? Because each one of us has a specific role to fill. And we can better understand where that role is the more that we authentically engage ourselves with our life experience. Okay, so Pisces, of course, for your birthday month, you get two cards here. We have Second Ray of Wisdom, number 2, and we have Past Life Activation, number 35, breaking down to number 8. So we're going to start with these two cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the little excerpt from the book that comes with this. So these are kind of like your overarching message from Spirit mid-month here. So let's see. We have Second Ray of Wisdom. It says the second ray of wisdom is a consciousness of loving wisdom straight from the heart of the universe. It amplifies the magnetic power of attraction, empowering you to pull into your life all that is needed for your life's work. It brings the opportunity to heal, restore, and understand through the power of love and the light of ancient wisdom. The spiritual master known as the Buddha is with you now to help you fully receive and integrate the blessing of this ray of light from the universe. Beautiful. This is really a card that speaks to kind of opening up to your life's mission, to allowing that intelligence, the divine intelligence to come into you right now to really help you get to that place of fully being, you know, it's interesting, the number 2 is kind of that number where we go from the one, the I, to the 2, which is the we. And I think that's really coming through strongly here, Pisces, to remember that component right now for you, that you are bringing yourself into connection with everything else, but specifically kind of there's a feeling of co-creating with Spirit here to kind of point the way to where your life's work is really going to be, I think, important. Now we also have Past Life Activation. I'm going to go ahead and read the little excerpt from this. So it says, you have talents within that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You've had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and the greater good. Now, whether or not you believe in past lives, or you believe in just this one singular experience, either way, there is a feeling coming through here that you are being gifted with divine intelligence, and that when we think about our life experience, it's not just that we are born and know everything about ourselves. The whole beautiful journey of our own unique journey is that we get to uncover these parts, hidden parts of ourselves that we didn't even know were there, as we walk our path and overcome challenges that are set forth in our path to help illuminate these different parts of ourselves and draw our attention to them. And I feel here that there are parts of yourself that have been kind of laying dormant, that are ready to be activated now. Now, whether this is through a current challenge that you're encountering, this could be that you're getting into a new relationship, or you're starting a new job, or some aspect of your life is changing. And now you are being asked to face that challenge. You're being asked to open up to some part of yourself that has been laying dormant, that's meant to be used and expressed now. And it does have something, I'm feeling very intuitively, something to do with your calling, with your own personal purpose, but specifically to your work. So there is something going on around maybe even something you've done in the past, an experience that you've had where you maybe had a job years ago, and suddenly you're remembering something that you learned at that time that can be applicable now. There's an element of kind of pulling from everything that you've experienced, but awakening something now that is needed. Very interesting, Pisces. Beautiful, beautiful message. Okay, so now I'm going to pull 3 cards, one for the concept of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, where we're going to get a little extra message from Spirit in kind of keeping this main theme in mind about where to stay curious and open to, where to take courageous action, and what to reflect on, what to contemplate on. Okay, so first card, we're going to take a look at, first card, we're going to take a look at what Spirit would like you to be open and curious to. Beautiful. Okay, we have why. Number 31 breaking down to a 4, and I love this. I don't know if how clearly you can see it, but it's a woman opening up a book that has wings. And there's this feeling here of, when we think about opening ourselves up to the concept of curiosity, well, this is exactly it. Curiosity is about asking ourselves questions. It's about us constantly questioning our experience as well, and staying open to the answers that we receive, instead of trying to kind of put our experience before that. Because when we dial it back and we do it the other way, and we stay kind of that curious, optimistic child, and we have that perspective towards our life, our external environment, we are able to allow ourselves to bring in new information, to continually grow, continually be surprised, and continually step into that place of awe and wonder at what we don't know about our experience. And when we're thinking about, kind of activating some aspect of yourself right now that is going to engage you with something about your life's work, and showing you kind of where you fit in that realm. When we're opening ourselves up to being curious as to what that might be, well, why is a great question to ask as you're starting to reflect on this message here, and you're starting to receive spiritual downloads that are kind of pointing you in one way or the other. And we can get a little confused at times like this, where we sit there and say, well, I don't know which way to go. I don't know. All of a sudden I feel called to do this, or all of a sudden I feel called to do that, or I want to bring forth this past talent or interest, and I don't know what to do with it. And I feel really intuitively that for you guys, this is going to be asking yourself that deep internal question. Well, why? What is the why behind, ultimately, when you think about if you could do anything and you wanted it to be important, and you wanted to feel like this would connect you to the greater collective experience and be of help and service to the greater collective experience, what is your underlying why for that? So for instance, we may think that, I would love to be a famous author. Well, why? What is the why behind that? Is it simply because you want fame and fortune and you want to be seen by others? Or is it to share a specific perspective on the world, or life in general that you would like to share through your work? Is it because you want to connect with a specific demographic of the human experience? Is it because you love the actual act of creation, of creating something artistic? So this is where, when we get down to that why, it really helps ground what we want to do that can be spiritually important to not only making us feel fulfilled in what we do in our life's work, but it allows us to also see where that fits into the greater experience, that we can understand our motivations. So this is a really good reminder for right now for Pisces to really get down to that why. Why? When you think of something you really want to do, either what you're being called to do now, or possibly what you've always wanted to do and you're just kind of admitting it to yourself now. What is the underlying why behind that? Because that's really going to show you some aspect of yourself that is meant to be shared. So when you think about it, like, let's say your why behind wanting to be a famous author is to share a specific perspective on the world. And and then you can kind of go deeper than that. You're like, I want to teach people about X, Y, and Z, or I want to empower children to do X, Y, and Z, or I want to speak to my experience so that others can, who are going through the same experience, feel like they're having their hand held by somebody else, knowing that they are not alone in going through that experience. So there's all kinds of ways that you kind of go deeper and deeper down through the layers, and it makes you realize, okay, so that really is, let's say you want to share a message of empowerment to children, and you want to teach tomorrow's youth, or today's youth for tomorrow's future. That really kind of gives you that underlying feeling of, so that's really what I want. That's what I feel my mission in life is. And it allows you more easily to open yourself up to other avenues that might come in that might allow you to be able to express that. And it could involve writing, but it could actually open up your eyes to something that you didn't even know was out there waiting for you. So now we also have, so this is going to be where we're looking at courage. Where does Spirit want you to be courageous to take action around this theme? We have Bat Spirit. It says number 5, a rebirth is assured. So number 5 is a number that really speaks to change. It speaks to, it can be either chaos or it can be growth. And there, with a rebirth is assured, I feel like this is around growth. That there is this feeling that maybe perhaps when you think about having courage, to follow maybe this new kind of newfound connection to some aspect of your personal mission, that it could be a little scary. That there's this feeling of, well, do I have to let my old self go? Or do I have to really change some aspect of my entire life to be able to follow this? And what the Spirit's saying is that, yes, possibly, but a rebirth is assured. Who you are right now going through this time of change, and what you choose to move forward as part of your growth. And it will show that, it's basically showing that in order for something new to be born, we do have to let something go. So keep that in mind as you're, kind of, I think, hitting that little bit of a fear wall of, I don't want to take action doing this. This is a scary realization. Most people want to know their purpose, and they want to know, almost like with definitive we want to know definitively, like, what am I meant to do? And what a lot of people don't understand is that sometimes when we actually really hit that kind of nail on the head, and we kind of, it's like, bingo, this is like what my heart of hearts I want to do, it can be really scary. And it actually isn't as just like, ooh, liberating as we all think it is. It's actually kind of scary, because generally when we hear that call, that true deep call of the highest, of asking us to step up into the highest potential of what we can be and what we're meant to become, it usually involves, some changes, some challenges to face. And that is where we can actually become more scared to take action, less assured, because we see the challenges that lie ahead. And even though deep within us and intuitively we know this is what we're here to do, we don't know if we're strong enough to do it. And I can reassure you, as Spirit is doing here, you are. Because otherwise you wouldn't have that feeling to do that if you weren't meant to have all of the tools at your disposal and to be strong enough in will to rise up and overcome those challenges, to be of service in that area you're feeling called to. So for your final point of contemplation, of reflection, we have light. It says, imagine yourself as a being composed of energy and light, because in reality, that's precisely what you are. You are a powerful being and people are attracted to your brilliance. This is a time to remember how vibrant you truly are. What a great point to end this reading on. Just really, really wonderful when we think about we are light. In fact, everything in our experience is made of light. But that comes down to the point of we are all one to a certain extent. We are all made up of the same thing, and we are all made up of energy. So keep this in mind that, I love it where it says you are a powerful being and people are attracted to your brilliance. This is a time to remember how vibrant you truly are. And I think this is meant to kind of give you that courage to make you remember you are a brilliant being. You are a being that spirit or the divine plan is working through you as a part of the entire collective experience. And you are here to offer something to be of great service through just being you, through acting out from your own personal feeling of passion, to act your passion out. It's interesting. This morning I was thinking, and I guess it's meant to be shared in your reading, Pisces, just thinking about the concept of the person who was Jesus Christ. Now, regardless of whether or not you are religious, I do find just looking at the characteristics of religious figures from all faiths, that there's always something to be taken away from what people revere and remember and want to worship in these divine figures. And there's something about the quality of Jesus where he, when we talk about the passion of Christ, it is that he literally lived through his embodiment of his life experience. He lived his passion. He didn't ask others to live for his passion or to follow his passion. He demonstrated through action his passion. And in doing so, literally was able to change the hearts and minds of others who watched him so wholeheartedly embody that and live it into life, live his passion into life, live that love for himself and for humanity into life. And there's something to be said about that here that I feel like I need to share this message with you, Pisces, that you have within you the ability to live your passion. There is something within you, a seed of something within you that wants to be expressed, that wants to be lived largely into life. And it's being asked right now to come forward. And when we think about, in times like right now, where we are going through chaos in the world, and we sometimes can feel impotent in that we don't know where we can be of service. We don't know what charitable organization to give. It can be frustrating and feeling like we can't actually be on the front lines helping those we would most like to help. But what we need to have faith in and remember is that each one of us is not meant to always be on the front lines. Or each one of us might not have the money to give charitably. But we each have something within us that's meant to be of great service. And that ultimately, with you focusing on where you are meant to be of greatest service and really acting on that, you don't know the ripple effects that can have. And that's the faith that each one of us have to have in our own divine design and plan. And I hope that this is an empowering message to you, Pisces. All right. Well, if you would like to illuminate your own personal spiritual importance and to see how it can be of service to yourself and others, take a deeper dive here to see where you truly fit. You can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website to book a personal reading or a one-on-one coaching session. And just to let you all know, next month I will be running a special for my I Am Illuminated reading, which is an expanded individual reading that takes a look at your numerology, astrology, and a tarot reading, and really to unlock your motivations, your why, your how, and your what you're here to spiritually accomplish. And I'm doing that because I do feel that most people right now really need to see what about themselves is needed right now in this time of great change in our collective experience. So keep your eye out for that. I will release a video kind of explaining what that reading is all about, how it can help you, kind of why it's important to know these things about yourself. And the reading is normally $150, but it will be $111 for the entire month of April. So that's just a little preview for then. I hope you all have a wonderfully empowering rest of your March, and I look forward to reading for you again for the April Illumination reading by Pisces.